Peace and love, family. I am ChiVital, aka King Chi, and I am back with another tool for your toolkits. Welcome, welcome. As you tune in, drop some hearts in the chat. You can also drop some lightning bolts because we are still in this flow of Shakthi power and energy flowing. We're going to have a fun session today. I know not everyone has been able to complete their new moon. Um, I'm going to say initiation as yet because it is just a beginning step to preparing you for sowing your seeds. But we're about to have a little fun. Ah, by now you can see the day on my face. I'm sure of it. I need some water, but I finished it all already. So just send me some love, some unconditional love and acceptance. I even brought my lipstick to the show and touched them joints up. See, we're gonna keep it a buck in here. Um, yeah, tonight's video is really about waking up some of your genetic memory, some of that information that is inside of you that is necessary for your forward movement. You know, this information has been flooding in, and for most of you who are very consistent with tuning into the subtleties of the universe speaking, will find some confirmations in this. You will find some peace in this. I had a really fancy title that was supposed to help everyone as they came along here to figure out what is Mother talking about today. So interesting, right? And I'll get to it. We're definitely going to talk about some of the misunderstandings that exist in regards to Shakti power. And we are also going to illuminate both the high points and the power in the Shiva energy, okay, as Shakti's counterpart. And we are also going to explore some of the limitations that exist within that dynamic. All right, so as you tune in, once again, drop some hearts in the chat, drop some lightning bolts. I'm gonna get started. For you all, you probably can hear me just fine. My senses are quite heightened, and the sound of the aquarium is very loud to me. So if you give me just a moment, I'm going to shut it off for a second. All right? We live, baby. We live. I'll be right back. Okay. As y'all see, I was got this red and black wig on. It's so fun, but I don't know if I love it. And I'm waiting for more people to jump on here because this thing is so powerful. I think it's important for more people to get this message. So bear with me, be patient. Be patient. I don't think it needs to be that long, but be patient. I tried to brush this thing. Put one in the chat if y'all really like this wig. Put two in the chat if you like others better. Keep it real. Keep it real. Just wanted to try something different, you know? But just because it's different don't mean it's fly. I'm aware of that. Thank you, Zela. Thank you. Because what I'm about to do is I'm about to take this off. I'm about to put my bandana on and do this video for y'all. Just because y'all put twos in there. It's not that I hate it, but you know what I'm saying? It was fun for the day. I like to play since I work so hard. So I gotta make time to play. Y'all ready for this? So y'all, we keeping it a buck, right? All right, I'm about to take this joint off. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yeah, we doing this. We're doing it. All right, take that off. See, it's shedding. If somebody wants this wig, holla at me. I'll mail it to you. I have fun. I only wore it once today. Just wore it once today. Got my straight backs. All right. Cool. All right, y'all ready? That's how we're moving. All right. So, what I have been moved to explore with you all is information revealed. I don't necessarily want to. I don't want to consider it a discovery because I'm sure it exists already, and there are other beings who understand this. What will give you a greater foundation, especially for the ladies who have been following this work, especially as it relates to bija sounds. The bija sounds, there are so many. There are so many. There are more than the 9 that I, in particular, have shared with you all. But a few years ago, I ran a program for women called Wombs to Crowns. And one of the medicines that we explored was doing these bija sounds in order to restore the connection of the womb to the entire universe and to harmonize the cycle with that of our moon for this planet. And what occurred during that time was that a reset occurred where the women's cycles started to align perfectly. So with the moon cycle, with the new moon, the menses would begin, and so on and so forth. Get back into the natural cycle of the moon, which is, in ancient times, like how did we get this terminology for menstruation called the moon cycle? Of course, because at some point there were less distractions, less eating of foods that were um, grown far away from its natural habitat. So the entire body makeup was more connected to the natural tides of the planet. What was revealed during during my initial time working with Ma Kali was this innate ability for women to let go of and release whatever is of no use. Okay? So there's a natural inclination for the woman who is primarily in her Shakti force naturally to shed not just the skin cells like we all do, but to shed at a deep level to which the essence of what gives life, if it is not supporting life, it gets thrown out. Okay? So we understand that the moon cycle is directly tied to fertility. And as we're working with the moon, and we're working with and around the concept of sowing seeds, we need to open up our third eye to the whole of our actions, the whole of the power that we're tapping into, the whole of the power that we're walking around with, speaking with to the women and speaking to the men in regards to this kind of work. There are large groups of people called yogis and yoginis, monks, that on a monthly basis have a very special, that's not just, it's not exclusive, right? There's more groups of people. However, I digress, that take these times where there's the full moon and the new moon, and they're treated very sacredly. There's fasting that's involved. There's particular breathing techniques that are done. There are particular activities that are refrained from, just to tap into the secrets of these portals and what they truly mean to our existence. Now, why this was brought to my attention wasn't because I'm far removed from the connection of my womb, my cycle, and the cycles of the moon, right? It was because I was brought through a vision to see what was happening at the level of the heart of men. The hearts of men, okay? Everyone, just to amplify this energy, I want you to write in the chat, heart of a man. Heart of a man. Okay? Through typing that, you're going to start sending some healing energy to that aspect of life on the planet. There is a large number of men with scar tissue within the heart. This scar tissue, if you understand the physiology of scar tissue and how it limits movement, how it starves of oxygen, how it starves of cellular nutrition, how it has a lax flexibility. Scar tissue, its issue is that it's disconnected from source. It is disconnected from the source of life that would give it the power to regenerate and recover and join back in with the rhythm of the whole heart. Now, how many of you know what arrhythmia is? Press 1 in the chat. Arrhythmia. If you don't know what that is, just press 2. You don't have to, it's not a trick question. It's not to embarrass anyone. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. All right? For those of you who catch the replay and didn't get a chance to press 2, okay, I'm going to explain anyway, shortly. Arrhythmia is a disturbance in the rhythm of the heartbeat. So we know the heartbeat to be one that is consistent. Lub dub, lub dub, lub dub, lub dub. Okay, and we get that sound from the opening and the closing of the valves within the heart, where the oxygenated blood is coming in, the deoxygenated blood is going out, right? So we have the blood that does not have any more oxygen, it has the carbon dioxide is going to the lungs to be released. And then we breathe in fresh oxygen. It gets sent to the heart first. Heart takes what it needs, pumps out to the body, right? Okay. When there's a disturbance in that rhythm, it either happens because there's something that goes wrong with the electrical charge, or there's scar tissue that causes the muscles within the heart tissue, right? The muscle, the smooth muscle within the heart tissue to not beat harmoniously as a whole. And so you get, you get a rhythm that is out of sync. Okay, so instead of a clean lub dub, you get like a lub dub, 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 lub dub, lub. It can go fast, it can slow down, it can skip, but it becomes dangerous. It's a life threatening situation. And it's life threatening because the heart holds the rhythm of life. The heart holds the rhythm of life. And what we don't realize is that when painful things happen and they strike an individual at the heart, there is a scarring. Initially, that scarring may not leave a physical wound, right? It may just cause the person to feel the sharp pain of an experience, but it won't leave a lasting mark and lead to some type of dis-ease within the heart. However, there are times where there are so many instances of trauma that trigger the heart that scar tissue begins to build up. And either it can destroy the arteries of the heart and make them kind of tough, lose their elasticity, right? And they can break, which is where you have a heart attack, right? Or you can have these arrhythmias where the heart is not beating well. And so it's working harder. And so it is consistently tired and trying to keep up with life. Now, what I discovered, I'm using the word loosely, discovered, what was revealed to me was that women, because they have a menses, they have a cycle. What we know about the lining of the womb is that there's stem cells within that material. Layman's term to describe why stem cells are so important are because stem cells hold the genetic material to become anything regarding the human body. You follow? Anything. The genetic material of the womb lining can regenerate the parts of the heart that are damaged, can regenerate the parts that build an arm or an ear or an eyelash. Okay? These cells have the genetic intelligence, if turned on appropriately, to heal any and everything concerning this being. And so, on a monthly basis, woman, the Shakti, goes through a period of truly releasing many of the pains, the injuries involved throughout that period from 1 month to the next, one moon cycle to the next, of anything that does not serve the forward movement and growth, regeneration, rebirth, renewal of this human being, okay? And the ethereal material, because our DNA, while we can see it in a microscope, the divine spark that turns on particular codes for things to grow is still quite a mystery. All right? What occurred to me was the question, why is it that women are popular for being able to love, to experience hurt, and then to be able to love fully once again, and do it as if they've never been hurt before? Whereas the story we're told is that for men, it is very rare that after the first trauma to the heart are able to ever tap into that pure sense of loving and openness as women experience. And so the question arose, why is that? Why is it so difficult for a man to experience wholehearted healing, renewal, rejuvenation, and the ability to love as if they've never loved before? And it was revealed to me that his energy, he was not born with access to his Shakti power that would heal that for him. The most intelligent man, the divine masculine, encourages the Shakti, the woman, to recognize and activate all of her powers, because in turn, she will be able to awaken at the same time the Shakti power within him to bring wholeness within him. The poisonous cycle that occurs, however, is that if the man has experienced hurt and scarring at the heart, there will be a sense of refusal to support, like the moon, right? We see Shiva as having the moon over his head. He has the moon. The moon, he's always in perpetual meditation. He can see the entire universe, the past, the future, the present, right? But his job is to support Shakti or Ma Kali in this instance, to experience herself in her power through every incarnation, every experience that changes the trajectory of her life. Although he can see it, he can't tell her. He can only support her. So what I saw in the vision was the moon is ever present in the woman's life as a divine support system to her awakening, to her empowerment. Not by doing it for her, but by pulling her along the way, right? Drawing her attention inward and without, like the tides. Because at some point, the only way for Shiva to access his full ante of power is when he gives the little that he has, and his little is a lot, to the awakening of the Shakti so that she can then return it to him. But if he's not tapped into that, he will shy away from it, and he will see his wounds as a reason to not let her in. And that scarring creates this disharmony within the heart, within the rhythm of life, that creates these hiccups that can ultimately kill that man's life force. Okay? We often see Shakti is receptive, stillness, dark, but Shakti is actually dynamic and in all things that are alive. The wig, taking it off, changing form, shifting. This is natural Shakti energy. Shakti energy needs to change consistently. Through Kali Ma's journey, we see Shiva holding the same space. He comes down to watch what's going on, but he stays away. And Kali Ma continues to go through these, Parvati, she continues to go through these different avatars. And with each avatar experiencing another one of her powers. Now imagine, right? As a little girl, someone can tell you, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you're powerful, you got this, you can do this, 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 this. They can tell you. But it's not until you have particular experiences, and this is scientific fact, it's not until you have particular experiences where you have to perform at such a level in a certain character, pull out a certain gift for forward movement, survival, that DNA is awakened, that gift is opened up to you. So if someone were to just tell you all the things that you can do, but not allow you to have those experiences, you wouldn't know how to ride that beast. You wouldn't know how to fly with those wings. You wouldn't know how to navigate those realms. All right? But what is happening is that the scar tissue is having too much of a hard time healing because Shiva, the divine masculine in this society, is so stubborn to the dynamic expression of Shakti that he does not get the return on his investment. And the return on the investment is the wholeness, it is the healing. But for the Shiva to turn its back on and not support Shakti with the love, with the encouragement, with the words of respect and kindness, with the reliability, because he's the structure, right? He's the structure. He's like the dance floor for the Shakti to dance on. If he does not provide the floor in whatever metaphorical sense you want to call it, Shakti will be like the wind and will go. Okay? But she has the force of drawing to her whatever it is she needs. And the most powerful thing is for the two to work together, for there to be a trust so that those scar tissues can be healed by the Shiva, the man, being able to tap into that Shakti force. So much so that he can feel the cycles of his woman. There's some guys watching this. They feel when their woman is going to be on her menses. I'm going to get to your questions. I see some questions popping up. They feel when their woman's cycle has changed. And I'm not talking about, oh, because she's PMSing, she's bitching, she's snacking, you know. They feel when she's with child. They feel when there's a disturbance. Okay? Here's how much it's important to be harmonized at the level of the womb. How many of you know PCOS? It is a disharmony of the womb, the lining of the womb, and the cells of the womb are in other places besides the womb. However, it too goes through a period. And so, just a crude example, okay? There can be womb tissue up here near the breast, womb tissue somewhere near the back, and womb tissue outside of the womb in the womb area. And so now when the woman is going through her cycle and the cells are getting prepared to shed, they're shedding in places that are not built for that. And it hurts like hell. Because only the womb is created for this. It's the only natural incubator for this kind of power. So when it exists in any other place in the body's freaking out. Okay? So imagine in the heart space where it's supposed to be smooth muscle, there's scar tissue. The heart is freaking out. The heart is having anxiety. The heart is feeling heavy. The heart is hardened. The heart is forgetting to breathe. The heart is racing. The heart is slowed down and not getting the necessary nutrients. It's going too slow. The only remedy is Shakti energy. because only Shakti and the most powerful source within the womb has that ability to not only provide cellular material to grow those things that are broken, dead, ready to be released, but to renew it, to give it a new life. And so you can use that in any form of fashion, figuratively, how Shakti is very healing. But then pay closer attention to how aligning your cleansing period, no pun intended, your cleansing with your cycle, that it be a sacred time of you also recognizing what needs to go. And with your mate, ladies, if you have a man and he's experiencing some disturbances around the heart space, coming together during that very powerful time and joining you in this cleansing period where whatever is there in the heart space that needs to be released, that blood that you have can be used to purify it. Those hormonal shifts that you're experiencing can be used to purify it. Does that make sense? Press 1 in the chat if you're able to go here, because this is coming from a very deep meditation and revelation. I'm just gonna check I'm gonna check the questions and some of your statements, because they are welcome. They are invited as well. So Zella, I love your question, and I know it was gonna arise. What about when menopause comes, right? So menopause, there's a pause, there's a stoppage in the menstrual cycle. What do we call women who have reached that stage? I want to know if someone has the term. She's in her what phase of life? I gotta scroll down, but I'm still looking at these questions. What do we? Yes, yes. She's in her crone phase. She's in her crone phase. And what animal do we usually associate with the crone? What animal do we associate? Yes, right? So we have the crow, we have the owl, right? Kali Mahakala speaks to time, and time is relative to uh, a phase of life and death, and the rhythm between life and death. So when a woman has reached this state of menopause, traditionally, she has lived life long enough to now she's actually fully embodied in her Shakti, and she can partake in the wisdom, the foresight that Shiva has. Those combined, she has total autonomy and power over life and death, and has tools in both areas. It's just like there are particular roles in society that women can only partake in after they no longer see their cycles. because the power of their bleeding wombs can be disturbing to the power of sacred implements or other deities when they're present. Okay? So she doesn't lose power, she gains wisdom. And wisdom is the ability to rightfully apply knowledge. That makes sense? Yeah, answer that for you? Okay. Let's see in this. I'm just scrolling through the chat, so pardon me for if you're watching the screen or you're like, got quiet if you're listening to me on your headphones. Do you believe that men of today are trying to be Shiva or Vishnu, so attached to the material realm and less meditative? So your question doesn't all the way make sense because Shiva is totally in this meditative state and so detached from the physical realm that a man fully embodied in his Shiva can come across as a bit painful, a bit painful. Because his focus is so much on having the highest sight. And that pain that is generated is much like those prompts for Shakti to realize her own power, to realize the power of her own company, to realize the power of her taking leadership, to realize how much she's necessary on the planet, to realize that in many ways he is her son. He needs her to be awakened and empowered more than she needs him. And Vishnu, the sustainer, I can't say that he's preoccupied with the material realm. There's no comparison between those two. Those individuals, and they're not just men, right, who are locked into the physical realm, or I guess in your question, I'm going to pull from it a materialized manifestation of, I guess, getting the bag, right? Or, accruing wealth. Anything out of moderation is toxic. However, physical money, a physical house to live in, a physical car to drive, a physical piece of clothing to put on your body is necessary, is it not? It's the obsession of it that shines light on a deficiency in another area. And that's why I had you do purification of your seeds, because some of your desires or your unpurified desires are obsessive because there is a deficiency in another aspect of your belief system that leads you to continue to try to plant seeds that are unclear. Does that make sense? Press 1 in the chat if everyone got that. Okay. Um, I'm going to speak to something that is being brought up as well. This notion of timing. The woman is very wise, and sometimes we have a desire to be intimate with someone. And I know we're grown here, right? There's a desire to be intimate, and then Aunt Flo decides to show her face. Now, it all depends on your personal practices, because that's not necessarily means for intimacy in a intercourse way for it to stop. Okay, there's plenty of people here on the planet that run red lights. Okay, that's one. However, there is a heightened level of intimacy that occurs even without intercourse when a man and a woman share space during her cycle, because her energy is very, very open, and it's very, very psychic. So it's not just open, but it is streaming, and it is penetrating and pulling on information that is otherwise hidden. So another misunderstanding of the power of Shakti, where there's this, oh, let's shut the women away when they have their cycle, they're so dirty. They are so psychic, and psychic energy is not always comfortable. And that's something I've shared before, is that when that energy picks up, it's not that comfortable because it's digging into places that people would otherwise like to keep private, hidden, or secret. And those are all different octaves of having something unseen by others. Some of that is toxic, meaning they want to lie. Some of it is just sensitive, where they want to protect it. And some of it is being repressed because it wants it to go away. There's denial. Okay, so there's lying, there's bold-faced lying, there is um, a healthy sense of protection, and then there's denial. Okay, secret, sacred, hidden. Okay, so I wanted to share this with you. So if you know, if you find that you're still connected with someone and it is a beautiful experience, and your cycle comes on when you are going to be in their presence, if you are connected, just hold one another and allow him to place his heart on your womb, his head on your heart, his heart to your womb, his head on your heart, his heart to your womb. And as you are releasing, you ask that the divine Shakti within you will also take with it and remove the pain from his heart. The issue is, don't do that for someone that you don't trust or who does not trust you. Period. On period. Y'all feel that? But we do need to soften the scar tissue, because our men are dying from broken hearts. And women who are disconnected from their wombs or disconnected from their intuitive wisdom are dying too from broken hearts. And a broken heart is not a reason to die, because there are many tools to healing it. So that's what I wanted to share with you all tonight. Is there anything else that you would care to share with me? I started this thing down in the description box that I didn't talk about before, but if you'd like to buy me a coffee, you can just send me a cash app that says, buy yourself a coffee, mother. All right. Again, check out the description box so that you can sign up and register for the F.A.Y Foundation free workshops or free financial literacy workshops, and follow us um, in all the things that we'll be doing for the artistic community. Okay? Serious inquiries only. I really care to have my time respected. Okay? So that's it, y'all. Go off and do your work. I'll have something for you tomorrow. Peace, love, and bliss. It's always a pleasure. Don't forget to what? Drink water and mind your business. Mind your hearts, y'all. I'm out.